Halo Mas Ruli, bisa kita mulai Mas?
Oh ya boleh.
Kita boleh, aku bisa share desktop nggak?
Sebentar Pak. Wait a minute.
Oke, thank you.
Welcome.
Prestasi yang punya lu?
Iya. Ih, ngomongnya ini
Belum ada ini.
ada yang ulangan nggak? Nggak ada yang ulangan.
Saya di sini depan aja.
Yang ini Bu, yang Ibu kasih.
Ya, ini gue udah masuk sini ya. Gue rally nggak di sini? Jadi gue pakai dulu dah email di sini kan. Lu pakai punya gue jadi buat begini dia. Bella.
Gua kan jadi ini.
Harus potong gitu. Nggak. Bisa.
Hello, good afternoon, good year, good afternoon.
Iya, ada suara tahu di sini. Ada suara di sini. Iya, iya. Mau tanya dulu.
Enggak gimana sih?
Lu ngomong hello, good afternoon, good year.
Okay, so we will begin our session. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So nice to finally meet you again in our urban agriculture online training. So I believe this is our fifth meeting for urban agriculture, and today we will talk about the edible mushroom cultivation, especially on oyster mushroom cultivation. So I have here with me today is Mas Sugi Kumukti, or we usually call him Atal. He's the technical assistant on mushroom cultivation program in Simeo Biotrop. Okay. Actually, the one who will be presenting this session today is Mr. Samsul, but unfortunately due to business reason, he cannot be here with us today. But he left us with his material presentation for today, and we will try to deliver it to you as best as possible. But because today we also have much more presentation from participants than usual. We have 3 presentations from youth for today, so we'll try to keep our presentation short and but still as informative as we can. Okay, so this is our mushroom house. Actually, it's been renovated, but usually it will look like this one. So usually it have bamboo, the wall made from bamboo, and there are shelves on there, and we put our backlog over there. For the backlog is the term we use for the media to grow mushroom. It will look like this one. Okay, so first thing first, we will talk about the type of mushroom. In general, there are 2 types of mushroom that we know. The first one is the edible mushroom. There are the example for edible mushroom is like oyster mushroom, ear mushroom, straw mushroom, and shiitake. The edible mushroom is the mushroom that, of course, can be consumed or processed into other products safely, and it can become the source of food, and also even it can become an ingredient for medicine, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the other one is a non-edible mushroom. It is poisonous or it's non-edible. Usually the characteristic of non-edible mushroom, it has a bright color. It has a bright color, and if you see it in the wild, no animals will eat this poisonous or non-edible mushroom. Okay, and then the cultivation objectives itself. The first one is of course the education and technology implementation, and so we cultivate mushroom to give information on how do we cultivate the mushroom, and after we have successfully cultivated, we will harvest the product, and how do we utilize the product for consumption or for another purposes. And of course the last one is the processing process of the products. So from the raw harvesting material, how can we process it into so that it will have more economical value in it. And then the second one is of course the nutritional value. The mushroom cultivation, the mushroom actually have a very good nutritional value because it contains various essential amino acid, protein, fat, mineral, vitamins, which trigger high demand of edible mushroom itself. And thus, by improving our nutritional input by eating mushroom, we hope that this mushroom cultivation can support the health of the community. And last one but not least is from the economical aspect itself. We cultivate mushroom because we want to achieve the welfare of communities, and to achieve the welfare of communities have to be supported by the increase in economical aspect. And we believe mushroom is one way to do that because mushroom is usually requires a little plot of land and it can be harvested multiple times and repeatedly. Okay, so this is the nutritional value of the mushroom that you can find in the mushroom. Protein, it have a very high protein content in it, and also have the carbohydrate, fat, vitamin, and minerals. And not to mention, the mushroom tastes very good too. It is really delicious, and actually in vegan communities, I know some friends who are vegan, and they told me that they use mushroom to replace the chicken. So it have a similar texture and taste something similar to chicken itself. Okay, so this is the data on the comparison of nutritional values in mushroom. So we have here the oyster mushroom and the wood ear, the ear mushroom, jamur kuping bahasa Indonesia, straw mushroom, jamur merang, and we compare it with another ingredient of foods like peas, spinach, potato, cabbage, celery, and green beans. And as we can see here, this is in the percentage. Overall, the oyster mushroom have the highest percentage of protein inside it. It have a 27 protein content inside it, higher than beef, which actually have only 21. This is still high, but it's a surprising fact that the oyster mushroom actually have higher protein content percentage inside it, and it is low in fat, but also it is high in carbohydrate. And yeah, this is our data. So basically, this is the cycle process of the mushroom production. If you want to do it from zero, I mean from the finished mushroom, fully ground mushroom, and then you can create seedlings from that. So the process starts from the F0 seed.
Yes.
F0 seeds. It was taken from the mycelium of the fully grown mushroom. And then from this F0, then you can create the F1 seed. And then from the F1, you can make it into F2. And from the F2, you can create the F3 seeds, or we call it backlog. The backlog production that will be ready to produce mushroom products. So how many from this F0 can make into F1? F1 20. So from one petri dish like this one, it can create 25 F1 seedlings. And from one F1 seedlings, it can create 25
25,
25
20.
F2 seedlings, and 120 seedlings of F2, it can create
and 20.
20
Yeah.
20 of F3 seedling, which are ready backlog, which are ready to produce mushroom, and from that we can create the mushroom itself, which are ready to be harvested or further processed into another products. But for today, because we have a very limited time, we actually have a full online course on this oyster mushroom cultivation, and we talk in detail about each of the processes. But for today, we will only talk about the how do we create the backlog or the F3 seedlings, and from that we will talk about how to process the backlog into a fully mature mushroom product. So this is the backlog creation process. The first one is the filtering of the ingredients, and then after that you mix the ingredients well, and then this is a composting process. And then after that the ingredient is logging. We fill it into the plastic bags, and then we sterilize it to prevent the other fungi or pests that we do not want it to contaminate our products.
Yes.
And then we let it cool down, and after that we inoculate the backlog with the seeds of mushroom, and then we put the backlog into incubation process, which like the our mycelium, the oyster mushroom mycelium, to spread into our backlog, and after that we put it into our mushroom house, and it should be producing the mushroom itself. So this is the composition for the planting media or backlog. This is what we have used here in Biotrop. We use the sawdust of 100 kilograms, and we mix it well with the rice bran, or we call it ledak bekatul in Indonesia, for 15 kilogram, cornstarch 5 kilogram, and then quicklime or calcium carbonate kapur CaCO3 of 1.5 kilogram, gypsum or CaSO4 1.5 kilogram, and then we mix all of that ingredients together with water. So this is the mixing process. The first one is we have to prepare the place and ingredients needed, with the required ingredients. I think it's better for us if we show it directly rather than read it to you. So we have created some video here. Unfortunately, the video is still Indonesian, but we will try to tell to you what is happening in the video. Okay, so this is actually the process of creating the F3, because the process for creating F2 and F3 is almost similar. The difference is only on the composition of the ingredients and also the size of the bag. So the first thing first is we prepare the ingredients needed to make the planting media. So this is the ingredients, and then we mix them all together, and these are the composition as we've told you earlier: the sawdust, the cornstarch, the rice bran, the gypsum, and the lime. Mix them all together and then put them all on top of the sawdust. And then mix them all very well, and add some water to make it humid, a little bit wet. And after you have mixed the material, you can cover it with plastic wrap like this one for the composting process for 1 until 2 days. And And after 1 or 2 days, you can put this ingredients for our backlog into this plastic bag. And make sure you use the plastic bag which is polypropylene, which means that the plastic bag is resistant to heat, because we will be heating this plastic bag. So make sure that your plastic bag can resist heat. And the sizing for the plastic bag is this one. The for F2 is smaller, but we will, because we talk about F3 today, these are the size, the 18, 35, and 5 millimeter. And make sure that you make the material dense inside it. So that's why he press the material inside the plastic bag like that. And after that, you can close it with a plastic rope. Okay, after you have filled the plastic bag, then the next is a sterilization process. So for sterilization process, actually we need this, we use this kind of sterilization method. So we prepare some kind of drums here, but the drums is separated into 2 compartments, the above and lower compartment. Where the above we will fill it with the backlog that we have created, and the lower part we put water inside it. So it's like mengukus, what do you call it? Steam the backlog. And sterilize the media using the drums with a temperature of 90 until 100 degrees Celsius for 6 until 8 hours. In this sterilization process is to make sure that there are no other fungi or pests that is living inside our backlog that can block the growth of our .
Hello, SMKN5 Jember. Halo. Halo SMKN 5 Jember. Yeah. Are you ready your presentation? Because Simio by drop is loss of connection.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
please. Okay. Please you start meeting. Please your presentation in your screen.
Excuse me, wait a minute.
Okay.
Excuse me, wait a minute.
Excuse me, we are a few minutes.
Okay.
Kenapa?
Untuk ini kan slide-nya. Dari sana. Hah? Dari sana. Enggak, ini slide-nya kita di mana? Sudah.
Di sana.
Di mana slide?
Mana ya orang itu?
Ini. Partisipan.
Kamu.
Hah?
Langsung aja.
Materinya? Nah,
Kami pakai itu.
lagi. Oh, ini enggak? Ini tuh. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I'm sorry, we are lost to because we are not to show the we can see the material. The PowerPoint.
Your presentation, please your click menu share, and then choose my desktop. Click share and then my desktop. Click my desktop. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Now you open your presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are students from Vacation High School
5 of Jember.
of student Jember in Indonesia. We all presentation.
We will present about
We all presentation about oyster mushroom
production.
at my school. Oyster mushroom production.
Before we produce the oyster mushroom production, we have to prepare the oyster house preparing. First, we build oyster house 4 meters and 6 meters. We are built from bamboo wall, bamboo set, and air circulation.
So why we chose the bamboo? Because if we choose the galvalum, can make the oyster house make high temperature because it's make perlambat to slow reproduction oyster mushroom. Profession of backlog, we not make the backlog because it's
in my
I'm
store.
sorry, but it's hard because
Yeah.
we so many particle material and we buy
Buy
backlog
from provider.
by backlog.
Uh, Provider.
But
It is not cheap. Maybe not cheap for me because uh, uh, one backlog this is
three 3,000
3,000 rupiah.
3,000 rupiah.
Yeah. And profession of backlog then organizes backlog on the shelf and cover opened after miscellaneous growth.
Maintains watering 2 or 3 days sanitation, because if the temperature hot you can spray the mushroom 4 times, because the oyster mushroom perlu lembab apa? Perlu lembab. Humidity. Please. Next. Harvesting. Word. Kamu dulu. Aku pas. Kamu. Ini. Mana?
Harvesting of oyster mushroom, we need mushroom is done every day by remove the mushroom from the backlog. If there is any remaining mushroom on the backlog, should be cleaned. And oyster mushroom crop criteria, that is the mushroom cap has been flat. The mushroom has cap been flat. Yes, this is a criteria of harvesting oyster mushroom.
Then how to clean the root from oyster mushroom? We should prepare the knife most sterile. Then we take the oyster mushroom. It's simple but make mistake.
Yeah.
Next. Alright.
Post
handling.
Yeah.
handling.
Yes, habis.
After we harvest the oyster mushroom, we have the post harvest handling. Post harvest handling conducted in the form of curing and packing.
Marketing.
Yeah, marketingnya. And then after we have packing the oyster mushroom, we have to market the oyster mushroom.
If the backlog already passed to life level, you can make fertilizer organic. It's simple but cheap because you can make organic fertilizer.
Okay.
It's simple. You must need E4 and fertilizer from animals, and you mix one jadi satu.
And you
Mix to one and you siram spray the in media udah lupa.
mana?
Enggak, media itu disiram, jadinya disiram dengan medianya disiram, nunggu
So we
sampai
ini
bukan. Sudah stop presentation.
The next presentation. Yeah.
And thank you.
Oh, we're marketing.
Oh iya,
And after we have post-harvest handling, we have to market the oyster mushroom. We sell fresh oyster mushroom from 10.
Excuse me, SMK 5 Jember. Can you
Yes.
show us your presentation? Because we only see the Webex website on your desktop.
Berarti perlu buka file.
Ya,
We need
ini
file.
udah di-share. Cuman yang kelihatan di sini cuma website Webex-nya aja. Minta tolong dibuka presentasinya.
Oh, excuse me.
Ini di sini kelas gimana?
Aduh.
Ya.
Oyster mushroom. Oh.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yes, you can see it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kita reading. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have to replay or
Kita reading.
Ya?
Ulang.
No, it's okay. Please continue from where you left off. Diteruskan aja.
Oh, okay. Next. After we post-harvest handling, we have the market. We are from marketing. We have fresh product and 10,100 rupiah per kilo. And retail packaging, we have the 200. 2,500 at quarter kilogram. And thank you. I'm sorry we have not to yes we don't understand to show the presentation.
Can we replay?
Can we replay our slide?
Hello connection.
Yeah, so is anyone here have a question from SMK 5 Jember? You can type in chat and send it to all panelists.
Can I ask questions?
Okay, so we have a question here from Miss Tiffy. Please, Miss Tiffy, go ahead.
Okay, do you have your products here, your mushroom with the price 10,000 rupiahs or 2,500 per quarter? Can you calculate how much is your net profit from each kilogram of your products here? Thank you.
Biar kalkulasinya berarti mengkalkulasi berarti kita iya.
Ya, maksudnya dari situ kita dapat
Oh, ya.
Itu netnya kita dapatnya 1.500 per kilogram dari BEP-nya.
Oh ya. Thank you. Kamu coba. You have
1,000 atau 1,500 per kilo.
1,000 per
BEP-nya BEP
Iya,
itu 8.000 bilang
BEP of the oyster mushroom. per kilo.
analisa produk BEP tulis aja enggak kamu bicara aja BEP-nya 8.000
Oh gitu.
Iya.
BEP.
BEP 8.000
BEP
BEP from oyster
mushroom
per
is
per kilo.
terus
100 and 500 rupiah. This is my analysis. BEP for BEP and from break even point from 1 kilogram oyster mushroom.
Okay, thank you. That's cool. It's about 15% profit from 1 kilo for every kilogram mushroom product. So 15% is quite good. I think, I suppose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And one more question from us. Can you show us the slide number 2? Can you show us slide number 2 of the picture of your mushroom house?
Yes, this is yes, we have.
Oh, slide number 2, I mean. Di ke atas lagi, nomor 2.
Ini. Profesional flower.
profesi
Enggak ya. Tadi kayak oyster mushroom.
Ke atas lagi, gambar rumah jamurnya.
Iya, udah, tadi udah.
Yang tampak luar, punten.
tampak lupa
Sudah.
iya ini enak
Yes, we have the open the slide.
Sekarang kan yang ditampilkan slide nomor 4. Minta tolong yang nomor 2.
oh ini pak
This is nomor. Ini slide udah nomor 2.
Oh,
Slide nomor.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God, sorry, I look at wrong screen.
Belum.
Okay, maaf.
Okay.
So, ask a question. Why do you use bamboo for the wall of your mushroom house? Why not just use gedek?
Why we use bamboo wall and not
Wooden sheet? Nah, wooden sheet not apa? I mean, bukan pakai gedek gitu. Harus pakai bambu satu-satu.
in your
because the circulation is good and
air circulation.
air circulation is good and we have cheap production. Okay, cheap
Low budget.
sorry.
Budget and in my school have a bamboo wall, so why not we have to
Oh ya.
kuat mas jaringan gede
and bamboo have the
strong particles.
strong material
Then
than deck.
Yeah. I think it's stronger, but perhaps the proses pengerjaannya lebih rumit maksudnya.
and vibration
Dan mungkin juga sepertinya lebih murah gedek daripada bambu. Nah, mungkin ini masukan aja for mushroom house. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that's all. Thank you for your presentation. Very good presentation. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, everyone, we apologize for the technical disturbance. So we got disconnected from the network for a minute. So I will gonna resume on showing the movie.
Gak ada film.
Hah?
Gak ada film.
Film apa?
Enggak, ada orang yang mau juga.
Kita
Perlu apa?
in
Video kan? Nggak ada.
Yeah, we will be resuming the video.
Ya.
So we have arrived at the sterilization process here.
Jadinya pakai film.
So we use stove here, simple stove, because we have to burn it for 6 until 8 hours, and it will take a long time.
Video.
And after 6 until 8 hours, the backlog is ready for the next process, which is inoculation. So we take out all of the backlogs and we put it into our inoculation rooms. And before you put it into the inoculation room, make sure that the room that you use for inoculation is clean. And this is our inoculation room in Biotrop. Inoculation process, as you can see. So here we have the F2 backlog, F2 seeds ready to be inoculated, to be used as a seed for our F3 or ready product backlog. So with the backlog, we just open the ropes, and then we put some mycelium that have already been and put it into our F3 products. Just like that. And then we put some perhaps cotton. You can use newspaper and wrap it with a plastic rope like this one, karet gelang, so that the mycelium can breathe some air. Oh yeah, I think it's better to use cotton because it's more cheaper than paper. And after you have inoculated the backlog, then you just put it into some room. That's the incubation process, incubation room. And basically what you do in incubation is just wait for the mycelium that you inputted into backlog to spread evenly. So it will create something like this one. So as you can see, the mycelium here is already spread, and this one is only half, and then this one is almost full, and then this one is ready to be used as a production backlog. And the incubation process usually takes about 30 until 40 days since you put it into incubation rooms. Okay, so after you are ready with the F3 backlog, then it's time to put it into our mushroom house and wait for the harvesting time. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is a video about the production process of the mushroom. So basically what you do is prepare the gumbung or mushroom house for you, and ideally it is well aerated. So just like our friend from SMK 5 Jember, they use bamboo for the walls. In here we don't know the words for the deck. Wooden sheet, perhaps wooden sheet. We use wooden sheet for the wall because it is well ventilated and it's very cheap. And because we have to keep the humidity very high in our mushroom house, it can create some damage if we use a permanent wall. So basically the house is just like this one with a wooden sheet and a back, and we have a lot of shelves inside it, where in the shelves we put the backlog. So after you have put the backlog inside the shelves, then you just cut open the cotton part so that the mushroom can grow from there. And make sure that the temperature is 25 until 25 degrees Celsius and the humidity is about 80 until 90%. And we use hygrometer to measure the humidity. And if the humidity is too low, you can use the fog machine like this one. Fogger, yeah. So it can increase the humidity in the room. And don't forget to sprinkle some water into your backlog to keep them moist. And after 3 until 4 months, here Masugi here, the backlog have finally produced the mushroom and it's already on edible size, so it's harvesting time. And when harvesting, make sure that you pull the roots of the mushroom. And don't forget to clean the residue of the mushroom root or dirt in the backlog itself, because the backlog can be used until 3 until 4 times, like this one. So make sure to clean the backlog afterwards to prevent the decomposition process on the backlog, which can prevent the next mushroom to grow. So after that, it's basically a matter of packaging. So you just need to clean the roots of the mushroom to make it look cleaner. And the mushroom is ready to be packaged. Thank you. So actually we also have the video on how to create the nugget jamur. So it's one of the post processing that we do here. So we process the mushroom into nuggets. We also have some crispy mushroom and something. So it's basically up to you what you want to do. Sell it in a fresh product or process it into another product. Okay, I think that's all from us. And perhaps if you have any question regarding your experiences on cultivating oyster mushroom, you can ask us. We have Masugi here. He's really the expert of the mushroom here in Biotrop. So, okay. Okay, we have a question from SMPN Rumah Arif Kudus. What is wind and oxygen growth and quality of mushroom? Gimana maksudnya? Angin dan oksigen mempengaruhi pertumbuhan jamur. Ya. Ini jelas. Ya.
Angin dan oksigen.
Okay, thank you. Basically, this is a question from SMK Arif Kudus. What is wind and oxygen growth and quality of mushroom? Actually, mushroom is also a living thing. Like all of us, he needs oxygen to breathe, to live. Okay, so if there is no oxygen or little oxygen, the mushroom can grow. So it's better if you have more oxygen, more well ventilated mushroom house, so that the quality of mushroom, the growth can be improved. Something like that. Okay, from SMK 63. Sir, can we train at Biotrop? Because for now we talk our backlog from Biotrop. We hope you can give us a training so we can make our own backlog. Yes, we will have continuity from this training, because this training on urban agriculture is basically only an introduction to its technology that we discussed. Okay, so we will have the training online and offline to discuss in more detail about each technology we discussed in this training. So don't worry about that. Actually, we already have all the material for creating our from F0 seeds until F3. It's already in our YouTube. You can search on the YouTube Simio Biotrop and it's already there. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I think it is, let me invite the next presenter from our participants. Okay, let me open the file first. Perhaps we'll invite from SMK 63, Mutia Hasan. Are you ready? Okay, are you ready? Miss Mutia from SMK 63.
I'm ready.
Okay, please go ahead with your presentation.
Udah mulai nih.
Yes, you can start it.
Yes, please go ahead.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I am Mutia Hasan from 633 Vacation High School. Thanks for the opportunity to present our PowerPoint. Okay, let's start with the first slide. Next. Its our mushroom house its size 5 meters by 7.5 meters. Our school built it about 2 months ago. Yeah, it's new. We have
1,200.
We have 1,200 backlog inside for this time. We cannot make our own backlog, so we bought backlogs from Biotrop Burger. We really hope that in the future he will be able to make our own backlog. Next. We do hope Biotrop will invite in us and give training to students 63 Vacation High School to make our own backlogs. Next. Belum. Our mushroom product is fresh mushroom in amount we harvest 100 kilogram more or less. Student harvesting mushroom every day. Next. And then they packet the mushroom and label it. We sell fresh mushroom in a bag of 500 grams with price is 8,000 rupiah or 15,000 rupiah for 1 kilogram. Thank you. Next. Okay, that's all my presentation. I hope you like it. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, where are you, Mutia? Oh, there you are. So, the same question as before. How much do you gain the profit, net profit from these activities?
Wait.
Oke, halo Mutia. Oh, lagi ngitung ya?
At the first month, we get about 1,000 kilograms. At the first month, we get about 100 kilogram for 1,500,000 rupiah. We not yet make analysis about my profit, net profit, because
it's new for us.
It's new for us. For our school.
Okay, thank you. So another question, because I see your mushroom house is very nicely built, yeah. It used baja ringan, ya, hollow steel or aluminium. Yeah, I think you can. I think you can add more mushroom, more backlog. I mean, more backlog inside it, because there's only one layer of backlog, right? But actually, I think you can put more on top of it until 3 or 4 level of backlog to maximize your space on the mushroom house.
Okay, thanks for your information. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank
you
Okay, thank you for your
suggestion.
suggestion.
I will do it.
I will do it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Nggak apa-apa.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sorry, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Mutia, for your presentation. Great presentation, nice courage, and say hi to your teacher back there.
Beside you.
I'm sorry, that's not my teacher, that's my friend.
That's no my teacher.
Oh,
That's my friend.
okay. Okay, so we will for the next presentation we will have SMA 1 Padangan from Bojonegoro. So are you here SMA 1 Padangan? Indah Anggreni. Indah Anggreni, okay. Halo Indah. Halo Indah Anggreni, can you hear us? Mana?
Buat itu Pak.
Tapi asli panon yang bangun dulu panon
Rahma Alicia. We also have Rahma Alicia here. Rahma Alicia. Hello, Rahma Alicia. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah. So are you ready to present your presentation? So who second will present this presentation? Indah Anggreni or Rahma Alicia?
Rahma Aisyah.
Rahma Alicia, okay. So please Rahma Alicia, you can start with your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm from Senior High School Padangan with my friend Rizky Aji Tristianto and Indah Anggreni. Will share about implementation cultivation oyster mushroom at SMAN 1 Padangan Bojonegoro. Please next steps. What is oyster cultivation? Cultivation oyster is a process to nourish and propagation of the species, especially oyster, to a fulfillment of the nutrients, the body, and economic on cell. Next. Why we choose this program? Because the first, we have a lot of the material thick wood in around our environment, especially in Bojonegoro. So many production maple, and it give result thick wood was. And then we use it to be more benefit such as to make cultivation oyster as the material and relieve thick wood was in around us. And the second is not all graduate students Senior High School 1 Padangan continue in university. In Senior High School 1 Padangan, not only knowledge theory, but also we get skill from cultivation oyster to make entrepreneurship. Such as from cultivation oyster, we can practice not only in school, but also we can practice in home. And the third is the economic value. Not only to cultivation oyster, we can get income to sell the oyster. We can sell the fresh oyster, or we can sell oyster as fried oyster or jamur crispy. We have night good price. 15,000 rupiah per kilograms. And then for the oyster as fried oyster or jamur crispy. And the fourth is oyster mushroom. Mushroom contains many nutrients and the nutrients heat resistant. Oyster mushroom contain many nutrients healthy for our body: protein, mineral, carbohydrate, calcium, and vitamin D. And then for oyster have anti-cancer and contains pleuron for anti-tumor. Okay, next. This is the process of cultivation oyster. We met in our school alone. The first process is mixing material. We use stick wood, was and gips and also water. We mixing it. And then the second is packing process on backlog. We we packing it along with all the extracurricular in our school is extra jamur. We do it our with our friends. And then the third is sterilization by steaming. Steaming need need about 8 hours. And then the fourth is nursery process. Nursery process is we inject some the bacteria to make a cultivation about oyster. And the next um these pictures tell us when the oyster still grow and then time to harvest. And then the next the first is pack outset use cardboard. We products the jamur crispy. This the first picture in outside packing, and then the second we use plastic to keep the oyster, and then the third is the consumer buy our product. And next, thank you. Masih dilihat gambarnya, Bu.
Hello, Asimia Baitrop. I cannot hear you. Please unmute. Please unmute your voice. Unmute. Oke, coba. Oke.
Okay, thank you. So
Yes.
our comment for you for SMA 1 Padangan is Bojonegoro is for the sterilization process. I think you can arrange the backlog more neatly so you can fit more backlog inside the place.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And for the nursery process, do you use some laminar or some kind of encas for the nursery process?
What?
For this nursery process, it means you are inoculating the seeds of oyster mushroom, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. And for nursery process, do you use some kind of laminar or some kind of encas to make it more sterile or something like that?
Inoculation process.
For the inoculation process? How do you do this process, the nursery one?
Oh, gimana cara proses ini loh, Bu? Dia tanya gimana melakukan proses ini. Bagaimana prosesnya? We cut the backlog and we open the backlog and then we enter the cultivation with a wood. Hello.
Oh, okay, thank you. So we think it's better. Yeah, it's you can do it like that, but we think it's better if you use some kind of laminar or encast to prevent some unwanted fungi or pests to enter your backlog. So your backlog will have more higher success percentage, something like that.
Thank you.
Okay, and how many mushroom do you produce in
Uh,
one month?
500 backlog.
500 backlog in your
Yeah.
mushroom house.
Since 2010.
Excuse me, 500 backlog or
500 backlog.
uh,
And we start this extra
oh, I
since
see.
2010.
Okay, okay. Do you have any data on how much kilogram of mushroom do you harvest in one month?
For about 100 100
100 kilogram. Great.
100 150.
Oh, nice. So a lot already, yeah. Okay, so perhaps any more question for SMA Pandangan? No. No? Do you sell this jamur crispy?
So, we sell jamur crispy if there is the fresh jamur, the fresh mushroom,
Oh,
still
yeah, yeah. How much
not.
rupiah, I mean, for one package like that?
100. About 2050 kilograms. Grams
Uh,
per pack.
250 grams. For
Yes.
how much rupiah?
How much rupiah? 20,000 rupiah.
Wow.
In the picture is 20,000 rupiah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, nice one.
Because we sell the fresh oyster is 1,500 rupiah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's quite expensive there, yeah.
Yeah.
In here we only sell it for 10,000. Okay, so nice presentation and nice extracurricular you have there. It's really, or you have already have the product and you can sell the product from the extracurricular. That's a very good thing. Okay,
Yes,
so
thank
once
you.
again, thank you for your presentation,
Uh,
and we hope
welcome.
to see your presentation again on the next session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will
Welcome.
continue with question and answer session. We already have a lot of question here. Okay, so first question from SMK 1 Bandung. Can we change mushroom house with the greenhouse for plant the mushroom? Yes, you can, but if you use greenhouse, it will be harder for you to control especially the humidity level, because mushroom usually requires high humidity, 80 until 90% of humidity, and it will be hard to gain when you plant it on a greenhouse. Yes, you can do that, but the growth won't be as good as when you have the mushroom house. Okay. Next, is there any special treatment for the development of oyster mushroom? Yeah, so there's actually no special treatment for the mushroom. The important thing is the humidity and the suhu, temperature. The temperature should be 21 until 24 degrees Celsius, and the humidity should be 80 until 90%. So that's it. No another special treatment for the mushroom. How to handle if the oyster mushroom is exposed to pests and what causes? What is usually the pest for oyster mushroom? Apa biasanya oyster mushroom? Tumor.
supaya nggak terkontaminasi. Iya, tapi kita memang orang di sana cuma 10.000, tapi kita bisa jual 15, laku kok.
Okay, so the usual pest for mushroom is tungau or ticks in English. So actually you can prevent that by using, well, the most cheaper and fast way is to use the pesticide. But if you want to do it naturally, you can use onion to white onion to prevent the ticks tungau tadi. Okay, from SMK 63 Jakarta, how do we get the seeds even there is no laboratory to do? Well, you can, for the seeds, you can come to Biotrop and we have the seeds available here from F0, F1, F2 until the F3 that is ready to produce. But if you have no laboratory, you can do the inoculation process, but make sure that the room is clean and as sterile as possible. If you have laminar, it will be great, but if you don't, you can search for NCAS, and if you don't, you can do it in just a clean room, although the success rate will be lower, something like that. Okay, for the next question, we're really interested in making mushroom house, but Mans Milan has not enough space or land, but we have free space at rooftop. Yes, you can use rooftop. Just perhaps build some mushroom house, just like what our friends have shown us earlier by using wood. Gedek, wood sheet, wood sheet, like what our friend has shown us. So yes, it's possible to do that in a rooftop.
Di atas ini, di atas ini.
Yeah.
Naik turun.
What is the function of the backlog if we have used and have taken harvest? Okay, so the backlog can be used until 3 or 4 times, and after that, if it's not producing mushroom anymore, you can use it as a compost material, just like what our friends from SMK 5 Jember have already told us. So the leftover from the backlog, they use it to create some compost. Yeah. Some compost, and I also have know that the residue of the mushroom can be used for the media for worms, for worm cultivation. Why is the mushroom backlog contaminated? Well, it usually because the inoculation process is not sterile enough, and perhaps the sterilization also can come into factor. So there are a lot of factors to as why the backlog is contaminated. Okay, so the important thing you do is to make sure that the sterilization process is thoroughly for 6 until 8 hours in a boiling water. You steam the backlog to make sure that there's no contaminant inside it. And for the inoculation process, you also have to make sure that every equipment is sterile. The operator should wear mask to prevent the contamination also. And make sure the cotton that you use to plug the F3 seeds is also burn lightly in the burner, something like that. Okay, perhaps. Okay, so I think that's all the question. Question?
Akhirnya kamu ngalah. Masa bodoh, uang sedikit, uangku sedikit tapi jalan.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I think that's it for today. So I thank you for everyone involved for your presentation today, great presentation and great sharing of practices. So we will meet again next day. Tomorrow we will meet again for our session on hydroponics with Mariana. So we have received a lot of your presentation on hydroponics and we look forward to it. So once again, thank you everyone. Thank you Mas Ruli for hosting this meeting. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yang harganya stabil tetap dibutuhkan. Kalau orang kan lihatnya capek, pada capek lah kayak gitu.
Tapi kecuali kalau sekarang ada tadi udah kontrak sama ABC, udah full.
Wah itu ya.
Lakunya.
Tapi ketika harga cabai naik,
Tetap aja jadi kita ya kalau harganya ya udah sampai penting. Iya begitu.
kalau pas harga turun,
Ya saya nanamin cabai di rumah Bu.
Produknya Bari. Produknya Bari. Jus sawi. Jus sawi atas alpukat.
Mana Bu?
ya kan ada labelnya.
Iya dulu tuh kelas berapa?
Nggak, tapi itu bisa sakit tuh. Dan kita itu, ya kayak
Iya benar.
Selor yang untuk orang meninggal itu loh, mandiin orang meninggal itu loh.
Kecil-kecil daunnya.
Iya, buat kalau orang nyusulin juga.
Ya betul, itu setuju.
Iya.
Dan
Kalau untuk apa?
apalagi kalau sayurnya
Kamu ikut ke papa? Ke papa ikut karena situ tadi bilang ke kamu itu.
Di kamu sekarang
Oh iya masih tetap
ya mungkin bercakap atau besok sudah di
berarti kita butuh itu kan? Iya. Nggak tahu juga pokoknya itu deh. Begitu terjadi buat itu kan. Ini timbang bawa reportnya di bawah.